Welcome to Reread. Today I'm going to go through 3 Adventure Journal stories here. The first one is from Adventure Journal number 1. It's called Escape from Balis-Bargh. It's an Ewok story. The Ewok Grail is telling his son a bedtime story of what happened to him a long time ago before Tribe Empire, the villains, came to Endor. Basically, it is Grail meets some kind of rebel scout named Jonas. And at first, Grail's first thought is, I wonder what he tastes like, which I thought was hilarious. And later on, when he becomes friends with Jonas, he realizes he's thankful he didn't eat him, which, again, hilarious. But he and Jonas, they're trying to break the language barrier and become friends. And before they can get to know each other too well, they both get captured by Tribe Empire, a bunch of white-shelled creatures, stormtroopers. And so Grail, it's from the Ewok perspective, is he's in this, he's in their tribal hut, which is made out of metal or, hard metal or whatever, or strange material. And he's in these cells, and basically it's droids. He doesn't know what they are, but they're droids, and they make little whistling sounds. And he has his flute with him. So he copies the whistling sounds of the droids because he knows what is bring me meat, what is let me out of my cell. And so he's playing these little tunes to get some. He doesn't get meat. Meat is served to someone else in a different cell. He gets bread and I think gravy, but he doesn't like that. So he copies the play, get me meat song. Well, the droid gets meat but delivers it to the same cell. So the Ewok's frustrated. He was like, okay, let me out of my cell song. So he lets him out of his cell. And then he says, give me meat song. And as the droid's coming through with the tray, he grabs the meat and goes, yum, 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 this is so yummy. But he's like sitting out there. He's free. He doesn't realize that, he just broke out of the cell. And Jonas is like, Grail, how did you get out? And Grail can kind of pick up and understand him a little bit better at this point. And so Grail's kind of pointing to his flute and saying yes or no to him. He lets Jonas out. He can't let some of the other people out because he doesn't know the tunes yet for those people. But eventually they will escape, where Jonas will bring him to the Rebel Alliance base. Now this is right before the Battle of Endor. So I guess he just didn't have time to meet Princess Leia or any of the Rebel Alliance people, because later on the battle ensued and then they all fought. So it doesn't really break continuity that the Ewok, the Rebel Alliance knew about Ewoks prior to Return of the Jedi. Just one Rebel scout did, which I'm fine with. And then he tells his son that tomorrow he will be waking up and joining Jonas and I guess leaving the planet to go fight Tribe Empire. He's decided to join the rebellion and whatnot. So it's pretty interesting. I like it. It's an Ewok story. Of course it's good. The next one is from Star's Adventure Journal number 5. It's called One of a Kind. This is by Paul Danner. Both these last stories are about Paul Danner, surrounding the same character here, whose name is, I guess, Scon. He is some little thief. And Scon is a lovable thief who basically helps this girl. She's trying to avoid getting captured by the Empire. It turns out she is a rebel agent. And they go through all this. There's it's a colonel or major or whatever in the Empire who is trying to track down and make sure this rebel agent does not leave the planet. But Scon, subverts all the Imperial search groups, fights off a bounty hunter. It's got some adventure in it. It's got a little bit of comedy in it too. And at the end, she says, well, why don't you join the Rebel Alliance? And you think this is Adventure Journal. That's what he's going to do. And he says, no, I'm a thief. That's what I'm good at. And so she leaves without him, even though they kind of have a romantic moment together. They share some romantic moments together. She does give him, he finds in his credit account $25,000 with a little note from her saying, try not to steal anything. It's kind of a joke because he kind of stole speeder bikes for them to get away and stuff like that. So he kind of laughs, and life is good as a thief. And I actually enjoyed it. It's a smooth read and really fun, which is why Star's Adventure Journal 9, called Easy Credits, is good too. Scon comes back. This time he's hired by a hut to steal a prototype weapon. And while he's trying to steal it, he meets the princess of the palace, whose father has the prototype. And so he works with the princess, who she just wants to have a little adventure. And so she joins him for a little adventure. And there's a lot of comedy between them. In fact, there's more synergy between them than the rebel agent. Even though Scon does say that he already has someone, because he thinks of this rebel agent all the time, supposedly. So he's not interested in the princess. Even though, like I said, on paper, they have some pretty good chemistry. The rebel agent's name is Sandra, and the princess's name is Khaliva. Well, anyway, they steal the prototype, get on an AT-AT. Again, he has to fight another bounty hunter. This time it's a Mistral, and the fight takes place on an AT-AT, which is really cool. But the Imperial Moth, who's upset that the prototype's been stolen, basically arrests the king. And when Skan is about to escape with the prototype, the princess says, I can't go with you. I need to go back and help my dad. So Skan understands, say, well, maybe we'll see each other again when you're ruling that palace, that household. I'll see you later. You know, I'm the lovable thief. Goodbye. But at the end, it takes kind of a dark turn because it goes back to the Imperial Moth who's talking to someone. I don't know if it's the princess or not, but he's stepping over the king's dead body and goes, long live the queen. So was the princess in on it? It doesn't say her name, and it's so confusing. And if there is a third part to this story, I've not read it yet, chronologically speaking, but I am definitely interested. Paul Dehner was a pretty good short story author who wrote some interesting characters, and Skan is one of those lovable characters to read. So these stories, overall, were very enjoyable. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.